A U.S. Airways jet landed in the icy Hudson River in New York this afternoon after apparently hitting a flock of geese. Miraculously, no one was killed and there were few injuries. James Moore, our correspondent at the scene, has more.
An Airbus 330 took off from LaGuardia Airport, New York at 3:26 p.m. this afternoon, bound for Charlotte in North Carolina. It had 155 people aboard. 30 to 45 seconds after takeoff, a flock of geese apparently flew into the plane, causing it to lose power in both engines and one engine to catch fire. Without power, the plane was unable to return to LaGuardia Airport, and the pilot decided to land in the Hudson River in order to avoid crashing in a populated area. 2 minutes later, the plane made a successful landing in the Hudson, and passengers were able to climb out through the emergency exits. The plane immediately started taking in water, but fortunately water taxis and boats that had seen the crash were waiting by the aircraft. Passengers and crew stood on the wings of the plane in the icy cold water and were helped into the boats. Over the next hour, as New York watched the event on television, everyone on the plane, including a baby, was safely taken ashore. Several passengers were taken to hospitals for treatment, mostly because of the extreme cold. Their injuries are not reported to be serious. One of the passengers, Alberto Panero, said people had begun praying as the plane approached the river, but that everyone had stayed calm. The pilot of the plane has been named as Chesley Sullenberger. Age 57, he has 29 years' experience of flying, and at one time had been a U.S. fighter pilot. Sullenberger was the last to leave the plane and walked up and down it twice to make sure it was empty before climbing out. He has already been described as a hero. The governor of New York, David Paterson, said at a news conference this afternoon, "I believe now we've had a miracle on the Hudson." This pilot, somehow without any engines, was somehow able to land this plane, and perhaps without any injuries to the passengers. It's thought that the survival of all on board is because the plane did not break up when it hit the water, and because of the immediate arrival of the water taxis and boats.
A U.S. Airways jet landed in the icy Hudson River in New York this afternoon after apparently hitting a flock of geese. Miraculously, no one was killed and there were few